What's happening, guys? Welcome to another video. And this week, sorry, no camping. We have been flat out for the last 2-3 weeks, and last week we were in Adelaide with Sam. They had the end of year Speedway presentation night, and Sam happened to get Rookie of the Year, so we were pretty happy about that. We've been fiddling around on the car. He's been fiddling around on his Speedway motorbike sitting down there somewhere, getting that ready so he can do a couple of race meetings in that. And this video I'm going to put the impeller in the outboard motor. I had, who left a message? I think it was TMC1 left a message, any chance of showing how to put the impeller in. So we're going to go and do that now. But after this weekend, there's not much happening, so I'm going to have plenty of time to hopefully get out and do a bit of camping and head up along the river. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I don't ask too many times, so if you're new, subscribe. Most of the videos are heading up along the river or going camping somewhere. I try and do a bit of fishing, a bit of cook-ups. I'm pretty shit at all of them, but we have a bit of a crack. But for today, we're going to show you guys how to put this new impeller in, or water pump, so that my little motor starts pumping some water. If you watched the previous one, we had a bit of trouble and it wasn't pumping water. So we're going to go and sort that out now, and hopefully she's ready to go and I can sneak off, chuck the swag in it next week, and head off down the river somewhere. So let's head out to the tinny and try and get that sorted. Okay guys, so this is the kit that I got. Got it on eBay. I think it was about $68. And it came with the impeller, so that's the impeller we need to put in. I'm guessing when we take the old one off, those little teeth there are going to be worn right back. With the kit you get a couple of spark plugs, so we'll change those too. You get another gasket for the thermostat, and separately I ordered another thermostat, so we'll chuck that in. And that also came with another gasket, which I think's in there somewhere, but we've already got one there. So that's basically what we're going to do today, and we'll work it out as we go along. So with the motor here, I have changed one of these on the Mercury that we had behind Gilligan before I did my trip up the river. So we got the thermostat housing up the top there, and a couple of spark plugs, nice and easy to get to, all of that there. We've then got this section here which has to slide out, and with that, I'm not too sure if the camera will pick it up, but just in here got a couple of 10mm bolts, so that holds the gear box, or the gears in and out lever. So down the bottom here we've got a gearbox, so that lever goes up and down to put it in and out of gear and in reverse. So we need to disconnect those, undo these 4 bolts, and then that whole shaft should slide back out, and we'll be able to see the little casing that holds the impeller in. So it's 2 10mm bolts in here. On the Mercury motor, when I did that, you actually had to disconnect it from up in the engine bay, so depends what sort of motor you've got, but this one's unscrewing fairly easy. I'm hoping it's going to disconnect in a second, but nothing ever seems to go according to plan, especially when I'm doing it. So something's coming undone there, but got it. The top one was a lock nut, the bottom one screws away, and that should be disconnected now. So that looks reasonably easy. Just got the thread goes into a hole, that part's got a nut on it. Screw the nut up and it tightens it all up. So now we need 12mm spanner on the bottom part of the leg. So these are the 4 bolts that hold the gearbox part of the leg in. Right, that's all 4 bolts out. Might just lay a bit of carpet down. Okay, a little bit of a wobble and it should all pop out, I'm hoping. There we go. Okay guys, now that we've got it out, that's your little lever that connects up for your gearbox to put it into neutral, reverse and forward. So the other bit's got a thread on it, just screws onto that, screw it down and then turn that one up as a lock nut. These here, we're just going to take these off. When you take this off, just be real careful you notice which way the bends are in the impeller. So you put it back on the right way as it twists around. You'll see it in a minute when I take it off. Just 4 10mm bolts there. And hopefully when we take it off we will see that the impeller is completely stuffed with a bit of luck. We've got these 2 little washer brackets there and there. And now to see what's happening here. So you can see they're all bent back that way, so that's the way they need to be bent on here. So which way is that? Oh, there we go, now it's in gear, turn around. So that's the way it'll turn normally because they're bending back. So it turns anti-clockwise. So we'll use that as we put the new one in. Okay, as you can see with this one, it's worn out a fair bit there, and that one's completely broken off. I'll get the new one just to compare it. So with the old one, that's sort of fairly brittle up there, and this new one a lot softer. So we've got to turn the motor around as we put it in so that they all curve into the little housing. And you can see that key in there, so we might slide that on there now. And I'll give it a bit of a clean first, clean around there, get some grease on that, and you put grease on the housing and everything. So I'll get it ready and then we'll put it back together. As with just about everything I do, nothing's ever easy. That little key way there has rusted in, so we're going to try and tap it out. The worst thing is they don't have a new one of those with the kit, so I've got to be careful. If it's too hard, it might be staying in. Okay, that's not real good. Damn it. Righto guys, well that keyway is staying in there. It should be coming out. Don't leave any comments how I should have taken it out on Slack, but I want to get the thing going, so that plate's going to stay in there. I'll just clean it up with a bit of steel wool. So that's the the new plate that should have been going in there. A little bit of grease here, we'll put around here, and we'll put a bit of grease on where the actual impeller turns around. Okay, so we turn it as we push down, that should bend those, and remember it came out that way with those bending to the back, so by turning it that way that'll force them to the back. A bit of pressure, she slips in there, down into the grooves. Right, all nice and flush. We'll stick some new bolts in it. And there you go guys, that's nearly done. Next hardest bit is going to be getting that shaft lined up and reconnecting the gear stick, or the gear rod. Be too bad, a little bit of fiddling around. And there we go. Let's try and slide it back in. Right, let's see if I can stuff this up. Like I said, nothing's ever bloody easy, guys, especially when I'm doing it. Oh, hang on. We got it, guys. Where's the bolt? Where's the bolt? Lever all looks good. Get this one done up tight so it doesn't pop out. So it looks like the gear lever's down, so it's not quite high enough, so hopefully I can change it up into gear by cleavering it up a bit, which seemed to work for a minute. So it looks like it's all lined up now. Just hoping that screwing this will get it on the thread. I don't know if that started or not, it feels like it might have. So that thread just goes down, there's a thread there and it just cap and it just goes down and screws onto that one. And then down the bottom there's a lock nut. Once I get it where I want it, we'll screw that one up and that lock nut will tighten it up. As you see it, you'll work it out if you're doing one. I make things sound twice as complicated as what they are. Righto guys, we're doing it the farmer's way here. Should have a proper socket. When you disconnect the leads, make sure you remember what order they're in. This is pretty simple, little coil there, goes to the top, one to the bottom. Plugs don't look too bad, but we'll put the new ones in. Might keep them as spares. Righto guys, this is the new ones. if I was a half decent mechanic, I'd probably get the feeler gauges out and check them. I don't know what they're supposed to be, 15, 20 thou or something, but they look pretty good to me. Right, that'll do. Chuck these back on. Make sure they're clipped on properly. And we'll get stuck into that. So the old thermostat, I don't know where I put it, was a little bit rusty. Might have been alright. You can put them in boiling water and see if they open up. I'm just hoping I've ordered the right thermostat for here. If not, I'm going to have to do some hunting around and find the old one for now. Take that off. Thermostat is out. We've got a new gasket, so we'll get rid of this one. She's all old and brittle, so I'll get a scraper and scrape that all off and put the new one on. Okay, put the gasket on. Probably could put some gasket cement on it, but I'm going to leave it. I remember that bit was poking out the side there before. Got the new thermostat. Chuck him in there. Looks like it's the right one. Get the lid, put that on. Just check you don't put this on backwards, so the round hole goes up that end. And now to find the other screw, which I dropped somewhere while I was looking for the gasket. I'm an idiot. Rightio. Not too sure if this one needs choke or not. Give it a little bit of choke. See that? Haven't got the switch hooked up, so I've got to use the screwdriver to turn it off. Need to hook a switch up. Right, we'll go get a bucket of water and see if it is pumping water. Righto guys, this is the big one. We've got the bucket down there, filled her up with water. That's the water intake down there. You can use those ear muff things, but while I'm testing this I want to make sure it's getting plenty of water there. And then hopefully it pumps strong enough to pump water out that little hose there. That's what we're waiting for. Right, there you go guys, we've just started her up. It is pumping brilliantly, look at that. That's how you want it coming out. Last video there was nothing. We're ready to go. Get this bad boy in next weekend. Give her a bit of a test run. I got a little spot up here from Tail and Bend I want to camp at, and we'll give it a bit of a run. Brilliant. I'm happy as a pig in shit. How good's that? Righto guys, as with everything I always run into trouble, so I had trouble with that little adjuster down there for the gears. The little locking nut for some reason was cross-threaded, so I had to take the leg out again, put another little nut on there that works, and I think we're right to go now. It seems to be going in and out of gear alright, but we won't really know until I get in the river. So next week hopefully we see a swag in here and a bit of firewood, and we'll shoot up and go camping and hopefully catch some bloody fish. Catch you guys next week. See ya.